Mealtime is a big production at the Mills home. Chef Nori Mills recruits her children, Brandy, Kayla, and Jonathan, and gets to work. Nori prepares lots of vegetables, stir-fried or boiled, never fried. Tonight's entree is fish, both salmon and catfish.
We try different ways to eat and incorporate these things into our diet so that as we get older, we're not faced with the diabetes, the high cholesterol, you know, the heart problems, and other things that just occur with aging.
Randy Mills thoroughly enjoys his wife's cooking. First of all, it's teaching their children how to prepare food and eat right. And the selection of fish, vegetables, and fruit is perfect for someone for whom diabetes is a real threat.
My grandfather had it, all of his brothers had it. Unfortunately for myself, my doctors have told me that I've got to be very careful with, you know, what I eat because I'm predisposed to it.
Nori doesn't expect anyone to eat everything on the table. She knows even with healthy food, it's still possible to eat too much. Her goal is to give her husband and her children choices.
So even if they don't eat what I prefer to eat, I always have a substitute for them so that they can choose what to eat.
Randy and Nori are well aware African Americans are at higher risk of diabetes, so they do their best to be good role models.
You know, it encourages me to first address myself and try to lead a better example for my kids and others.
I know, but our boss doesn't work.
That includes setting the example in the exercise room as well.
If you don't watch exercise, it can be very monotonous and you want to stay away from it. So I've done everything I can to kind of encourage myself to you know, want to go in that room.
So it's become a way, not really like exercise, but it becomes fun when we go down there. And we put the music on, and you know, by the time an hour goes by, it doesn't seem like you really exercise for an hour.
The best way to keep A1C levels down is with good diabetes control. Testing your blood glucose regularly, taking the appropriate medications or insulin as prescribed by your healthcare professional, eating right, and exercise.
Hemoglobin is in the blood, and hemoglobin carries oxygen, and there are many different types of hemoglobin, and there are certain types that change in proportion based on how much sugar is in the blood, and hemoglobin A1C is one of those types.
Helen Lewis was diagnosed with diabetes 8 years ago. She does a good job of checking her blood sugar and taking her medication. Helen has some incentive. She's already developing complications.
My eyesight is dimmer now than it was before I had it. So, and I love to read, so.
Helen gets out in front of her apartment and walks for exercise. She also does her best to eat right, but it's hard.
You can have cake, but not a large slice. Me, I want a half of the cake, you know? Especially strawberry cake with the whipped cream. Oh, I love it.
The most important thing you can do to prevent diabetes is to keep your weight under control.
People with diabetes aren't the only ones with cravings, and the same rules apply to diabetes prevention. If you truly eat right and exercise, your chances of developing diabetes go way down. Obesity is something that Americans seem to be struggling with these days, especially young Americans.
Step on for me.
And these obese children are developing type 2 diabetes, which has troubling implications for the future.
Come on over here, we'll get your height.
It used to be rare to see a type 2 diabetic under the age of 50. The reason this is so important is it often takes 15, 20, 25 years to develop a complication from diabetes. Well, if you're developing the disease when you're 15, then you're going to get the complications when you're 40.
This is 80 calories, so one of those...
Kids need to learn to eat right now and to exercise. Otherwise, the CDC prediction of 1 in 3 people born in this country in 2003 getting diabetes will become reality.
If current trends continue unchanged, if we do nothing different from what we're doing right now, those kinds of awesome numbers will definitely beset us.
Up next, so what does the future hold? Fortunately, not all the news is bad.